Hello everyone, welcome to Minimal Mindful Mama. If you're new here, I'm Katie Mixon and I like to make videos teaching busy moms how to minimize and simplify their lives so that you can be living the life that you want to. Today I'm excited to talk about different ways that we can incorporate self-care into our lives as busy moms.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want. Yeah, I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want.
When I had my second daughter, I had a 1-year-old and a newborn baby. I felt very overwhelmed and I was looking for ways to incorporate more self-care into my life. I knew that I couldn't pour from an empty cup, as the saying goes, and so I needed to find things that I could do with to feel fulfilled and like the mom that I wanted to be. I needed to find ways to take care of myself so that I could better care for them. This is when I actually first discovered the concept of Hygge. I was quite intrigued by the concept and got a bunch of books from the library about the concept of Hygge and the Danish lifestyle and how to incorporate that into our lives. So I have 7 ideas for you today that you can incorporate into your daily routine as a busy mom, whether you have a newborn baby or if you have multiple children or children in school, whatever the age group that you have. As moms, we tend to just stay busy all the time and there's an unending list of things to do. So I think it's really important to have small little rituals that we can incorporate into our day that do take care of ourselves and give us a moment to breathe so that we're energized to then go about and take care of others. There's a few different Hygge things that I like to incorporate into my routine. And the first one that I think is important to talk about is gratitude. Some people like to keep a gratitude journal, other people use an app, and you don't necessarily have to do either of these things. But I think that we can get so caught up in our culture with the next thing and we can fall into a mindset of comparing ourselves to others and noticing the things that we lack and that we would like to have and not so much focusing on the things that we already have. This can lead to a lot of discontented feelings, and this can really affect our mindsets as we go about our daily routine. If you spend your day upset and frustrated and focused on how you wish you made more money so you could achieve this or that or have this or that, you're not going to be as happy as you would going into your day with a grateful mindset, thankful for all of the things that you have. So I'd encourage you, whether you do a gratitude journal or even if it's just thinking of 1 or 2 things before you go to bed or each morning when you wake up that you can be grateful for. We all have something in our lives that we can think of to be grateful for. And I think that this is a really good exercise to get into the habit of doing so that you can start your day off on the right foot. Another Hygge thing that I like to do for self-care is simply to take the time to read. Now, before you tell me I don't have time to read, I have kids. I totally get that. I've been there. And until recently, I hadn't read in several years. Once I started having my own kids, it became really difficult for me to find the time And I would just get in bed at the end of the day completely exhausted, and I would usually just put on the TV to relax, and then I would go to sleep. If this is the place you're in, I completely understand, but something that was really helpful for me was to decide that I wanted to make reading a goal. I used the Goodreads app and I set myself a goal. I wanted to read 20 books in 1 year. It didn't matter how long they were. Like I said, I got a bunch of little Hygge books from the library that weren't that difficult to read, and I could finish in a few days of just reading one short chapter a day. By forcing myself to do this for a few minutes each night before I put on the TV or before I went to bed, I actually made it a habit, and I'm really happy that I've brought reading back into my life. Since then, I've reached and surpassed my goal of 20 books each year. Not only do I feel like this is a healthier bedtime routine, but I also like myself better. I like knowing that I am the kind of person who reads and not the kind of person who watches several hours of TV each night. It just makes me feel better about myself as a person, and like I'm a more intelligent person. And even though nothing has necessarily changed about my level of intelligence, because I've changed my habits, I've also changed my inner dialogue, and that has been huge in the way that I view myself. Along the same lines, I think that it can be very helpful to take a few minutes to write each day. Now, you don't have to be an awesome writer to do this. Like I mentioned earlier with a gratitude journal, you could simply jot down 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for each day. I know there are blank journals you can get that you actually just write, I think, a few sentences for each day about how your day was or something that you learned that day. I've even done where I'll just write down the funny things that my kids say. And sometimes if I have more to write, I'll definitely write a few pages in my journal if something happened that I really want to remember in the future. I think that journaling this way, even if it is only a few sentences, can be very relaxing as well as helpful for your brain. If you struggle with journaling, I've also found doing brain dumps to be very helpful, where if I am feeling stressed or overwhelmed and the to-do list in my head just goes on and on and on, I will take out a sheet of paper and just write everything down that I'm stressed about. I'll write everything that I need to do, everything that is overwhelming me, everything that I'm worrying about. And simply getting it out on a piece of paper helps a lot to relieve the stress, because I know that I won't forget something that I need to do that I've been holding in my mind, worrying that I'll forget about. Oftentimes then when I revisit this list later, I'll find that many of the things have resolved themselves. And if they haven't, I know that I have the list right there to refer back to so that I won't forget the things that I need to deal with. Of course, we can't have a video about creating a Hygge routine without mentioning hot drinks. If you're not a fan of hot drinks, you could easily do this with anything that you enjoy, such as a frappuccino or perhaps even just special muffins or scones that you bake. Whether you're a coffee person or a tea person, something about the warmth of the cup in your hands is so Hygge and relaxing, and I really enjoy just taking a few minutes to myself each morning to actually sit down and drink my cup of coffee and feel it in my hands. A helpful way that I have done this with little kids is if I, the night before, prepare a easy art project. Say I'll set out crayons in a coloring book, or I'll put out a puzzle or something for them to do so that when they wake up in the morning, rather than first thing begging for attention and for me to do this and that and run around, that they'll actually sit down and occupy themselves for just a few minutes so that I can sit down and drink my hot tea or coffee and enjoy watching them for a minute before the chaos of the day begins. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like down below and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. It's free and you can hit the little bell button so that you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Something else that I think gets neglected as busy moms that's really important to incorporate into our routine is getting outside each day. Being out in nature is so relaxing and has so many health benefits for your body physically as well as mentally. We all need vitamin D, and especially now as we're going into fall and winter and we get less of it, it's really important to make sure that you take a few minutes at least to go outside each day. Whether that's just sitting outside to drink your morning coffee, or reading in the hammock in the afternoon during nap time, or perhaps going for a walk each day, or chasing your kids around at the playground. Whatever it is that you need to do to get that fresh air each day, be sure to incorporate that into your schedule. Another thing, like I just mentioned, is actually going for a walk. I understand that this may not be practical to do every day, and depending on how many kids you have at home with you, it might be difficult to do more than once a week. But I found that every time that I make myself go for a walk, no matter how much I don't feel like it, I always feel better after the fact. Sort of like the mindset shift I had with reading. Even if I don't want to go for a walk, when I get back, I'm proud of myself for doing it. And not only do I feel good because of the endorphins released from the exercise, but I also feel better about myself as a person that I went outside and I exercised today. The final thing that I want to mention that you can do to create a Hygge routine is to find something that you enjoy doing to take care of yourself. This can look a lot of different ways. So for example, I really don't enjoy showers or baths. It's just not fun or relaxing for me. I feel like it's just an additional chore, another thing on my to-do list that I have to do. But I know there's some people who really enjoy taking a long relaxing bath, or even maybe a short relaxing bath. But if that's something you enjoy, definitely try to incorporate that into your routine. Or perhaps you like to have your nails done, and having your nails done makes you feel put together. I know after the birth of my first daughter, I did my nails and kept them done because it just made me feel like an actual human to have that one little thing about me feel put together. Or perhaps you could decide to start a new skincare routine and find a product that you really love using and add that to every morning or every night before you go to bed. And finding something that is really enjoyable and relaxing for you, even if it only takes a minute of your time to do each day, is a really good way to add a little bit more self-care into your routine without it being too much or too overwhelming or too time consuming for you. This past January, I decided I wanted to start a actual skincare routine, and so I found some products that I love and I've been doing it every day. And it only takes me a few minutes, but it helps me every morning to feel like I've taken care of myself, I've done my skincare, I've put myself together, and now I can face the day. So try to come up with something that you could do for yourself that will help to take care of your body, that won't take too much time, that you can incorporate into your daily routine. If you miss a day or two or three, or if the kids are sick or something, it's totally fine. You can come right back to it, but definitely try to add it to your routine and make it a habit that you do on a regular basis. Well, that is all that I have for you today. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you like to do for self-care? If you don't have anything that you're currently doing, especially if you've recently had a shift in your routine, such as having a new baby or having your first baby, then tell me in the comments what you used to like to do for self-care. And let's chat about ways that we can add something into your current routine that will help to give you the Hygge feelings and to take care of yourself. Thank you all so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.